What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Prince of YouTube, PS Compulsion, signing in here, aka that 23-year-old kid with the light squeaky voice, aka Prince Anthony, aka the owner of the best team in the NBA, the Las Vegas Royals. As most of you guys know, NBA 2K19 is set to release in September 2018, which is about 2 months from now, approximately. And as of today, there's no word on gameplay, MyGM mode, MyLeague mode, my career. No information has been released about the game except for the release date. And then I start to think, well, since there's no information on the game yet, why not create a wish list? I know it's a little bit too late to make a wish list video, but at the same time, they do have approximately 2 more months left before the game drops, and they're still probably even working on the game now. I have no idea. But if they're still working on the game, specifically still working on perfecting MyGM and MyLeague mode, I got 10 fixes or features that needs to be added to the game that will make MyGM and MyLeague mode the game mode to play when people decide to pick up and play NBA 2K. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is my NBA 2K19 in-depth ultimate MyGM / MyLeague wishlist video, and I have 10 great features that needs to be added. So without further ado, kicking things off with the first feature that NBA 2K19 needs to have in MyGM mode and MyLeague mode is more alternative jerseys and the ability to create an alternative arena. Now, back in NBA 2K17, we didn't even have alternative jerseys, right? So it was just the standard home and away uniforms that you could create. Now in NBA 2K18, 2K said that we were going to be able to create alternative uniforms. That's what they said. They said we would have the ability to create alternative jerseys, and then when I got the game, we could only create one alternative uniform, and that was it. So for NBA 2K19, I want the ability to have more than one alternative uniform, at least have like about, I would say, 3 to 5 slots to create an alternative uniform for your team. And then on top of that, we should also be able to name each uniform. So for example, if I want to recreate the Las Vegas Royals in NBA 2K19, I could have a home uniform, an away uniform, a classic home uniform, a classic away uniform, a pride uniform, a flex uniform. You guys get me with all these uniforms? Like, come on, bruh. Just having the ability to create more than one alternative jerseys is what this game mode is really missing. And then on top of that, I can't forget about having an alternative arena. For example, you guys know the Golden State Warriors have an alt arena that they use anytime. I think they wear the town uniforms that they have, the black one. The court logo normally changes, so they have like a different feel to their arena. Same thing for the Milwaukee Bucks. Sometimes when they wear their throwback jerseys, the entire court changes. So that feature definitely needs to be added to future MyGM / MyLeague game modes. That will be so dope, having more alternative jerseys and the idea of having an alternative arena. That's dope right there. Oh yeah, and make sure that we could add sleeves to our custom jerseys as well. And in addition to all of that, we have to be able to edit the playoff jerseys during the playoffs for the fans. You guys know how for every single team in the NBA during the playoffs, fans wear a specific jersey, a specific color. We should be able to edit that as well. Moving on to the next feature that NBA 2K19 needs for MyGM / MyLeague mode is that we need player roles and a personality system for the players. This is definitely a must for MyGM mode. You should be able to give specific players specific roles so that they know where they stand on a team, like past 2K games. There should be a star, starter, 6-man, role player, and bench warmer roles for players to have on a team. Players should then be able to accept or deny that role based on how they've been playing, their value to the team, and how badly they are willing to sacrifice for their team. This is definitely where a new personality system would come in. And I know currently players can have a few personalities, like being unpredictable and stuff of that nature, but I feel like they should have personality attribute categories. It will make each player more unique and different based on their personality attributes. So for example, if Carmelo Anthony has an attribute like low loyalty and willingness to sacrifice, he is more than likely going to refuse a 6-man role and not come off the bench.
Who, me? Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hell, he might even demand a trade. That will make things that much more interesting. So rather than having Carmelo Anthony or any other player on the squad with an overall higher than 80 complaining every few days about being in the starting lineup, they would have personalities where they get to choose whether or not they will accept certain roles. So like, I could have a Patrick Beverley with an 85 overall on a winning team with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving on it, and he accepts his 6-man role because he knows they are on their way to an NBA championship. See? Personality system solves everything. No more players complaining with an 80 overall or higher that they're not in the starting lineup. So moving on to the next feature that needs to be added to NBA 2K19 MyGM/MyLeague mode is fixing the MyGM story mode. Here's where things get a little bit interesting, right? So in NBA 2K18, we saw the first MyGM story mode that saw your created My player become the general manager of an actual NBA team due to injury. So during your first season, you are faced with your owner of your team selling the team and having the new owner Bob Sanderson throw you under the bus every chance that he gets to try to shape your team however he feels like it, while his son is given an assistant general manager position, trying to run you out of town and take your position by forcing bad trades and ruining player morale. But as good as this story was, it was only for one season. In NBA 2K19, if the idea is revisited to have a MyGM story mode, that story should most definitely run more than one season. I want a story that goes into at least 3 or 4 seasons. A great example of this is what I did in NBA 2K18 with my Knicks MyGM. So I did some heavy editing to make it seem like Andrew Sanderson came back to harass my team just to keep things interesting and just to keep the storyline going. Like, come on, bruh. Make the story last more than one season. Also, I want more decision cutscenes that doesn't make the same thing happen. I want to be able to make decision that affects my team as a whole. So if I choose to fire my coach randomly, my team morale should drop and the players should be upset or happy depending on the coaching changing, or whether they're happy or upset with the coach. You know, just making things more realistic and making the decisions that I choose actually impact my team. Because in NBA 2K18, during that story, I could choose any decision that I want in any cutscene, and for the most part, the end result will always be the same. Like, no, they definitely need to change that in NBA 2K19. Now for the next feature that definitely needs to be added in NBA 2K19 MyGM/MyLeague mode is having the option to play either a MyGM story mode or a regular MyGM mode that does not involve the story. Now this one is super important for MyGM. I did not like that in 2K18 I was forced to play through the MyGM story before being able to play the mode regularly. Like, that didn't make no sense. Why would you tease me with a story one season and then the next season I could just go back to playing things however I feel like it? Like, no, that is horrible. So in NBA 2K19 you need to have the option to play either a MyGM story mode or a regular MyGM mode where there's no story and I don't have to worry about no storyline messing with my team rebuilding process by trading away assets on my team that I need. So the next feature that 2K needs to add to MyGM/MyLeague mode is scheduling meetings with players and coaches during free agency. Now, to be honest, getting players to sign with your team during free agency is easy as hell. I'm just saying. So a good fix to this is that you should have a 9 a.m. to 6 or 7 p.m. schedule to meet with specific players and potential coaches every single day of free agency. So coaches and players should be able to accept or deny the meeting when you reach out to them, ultimately giving them full control of their future. So if you was to have a meeting with a player, you should be able to ask that player a variety of questions like you could currently do on 2K and make them specific offers. So the player can either accept the deal that day or in a few days, depending on how he fits with the team. And that's the difference between my fix and the way that 2K currently has it. So for example, if I'm doing an OKC rebuild and I try to sign somebody like Kemba Walker, Walker should have the knowledge to say that he doesn't want to sign with my team because we already have a top point guard in the NBA like Russell Westbrook, and he doesn't want to play the 2 or come off the bench. Also, I want to stress the importance of having team image factor into all of these free agency decisions. For example, if Kemba Walker sees me trading like 5-6 times a season, why would he want to come to a team knowing that there's a possibility that I just might trade you after like the first week? Nah, you can't trade somebody that soon after they sign with a team. I think you gotta wait till like December 15th. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, you know there's a possibility that I might trade you just like that without a warning. So why would you want to sign with that team? So after the free agency period, you can speak to as many low-tier players as possible to figure out the roster spots if needed as regular. But for the main free agency period, that's when everything needs to be changed up and made a lot more difficult. It needs to be so much more difficult to get free agents to come to your squad instead of being able to start a MyLeague whenever I feel like it and sign Paul George, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving to any team that I feel like it. No, rebuilds definitely does not work like that, bro. Definitely don't work like that. So the next feature that NBA 2K19 needs to add to MyGM or MyLeague mode is fixing expansion and team relocated team glitches. So one of my biggest issues with expansion teams is that sometimes they don't feel real and that they come with a ton of glitches. One glitch that I had that forced me to stop playing my Las Vegas Royales expansion MyLeague was the crowd glitch. So no matter how good my Las Vegas Royales was, it didn't matter, my crowd was always half empty. But I still can't believe we have empty seats and we're on a 15-game winning streak. There's got to be some type of a glitch right now. Oh, look at this. Dennis Smith had a wide open layup, kicking it out. JJ Redick can't knock down the 3, but I get the offensive rebound. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Also, there's no introduction for expansion teams. Like, it just goes straight to tip-off. That's weird. I have to add my own intro graphics to make my team feel real. And then on top of that, 2K should make more intro graphics for each city available to have a team in. So if I want to move a team to Alaska before tip-off, I want to see the arena, or if there's no arena in Alaska, show me like the city or something. Just show me something before the game starts. I want to see starting lineup intros. Show me something, 2K. Make these expansion teams feel more realistic. Also, another glitch that comes with relocating a team on NBA 2K18 is that you can play with your created alternative jerseys, and the arena have an audience with people that is wearing the old t-shirts and the hats of your team before the relocation. That's some BS. So for example, my Bronx Kings, right? I relocated them from Sacramento to the Bronx, but the audience, they are still wearing their old Kings jerseys, and you could see blimps in the arena with the old Kings logo. All of those things should be able to edit once you relocate a team. I don't want to see any of that. Same thing happened with my Las Vegas Royales. If I relocate them from Denver to Las Vegas, if fans in the audience don't change their shirts, you will see the blimp in the arena say Denver Nuggets passing by. It doesn't have the Las Vegas Royales logo on it or nothing. Just the Denver Nuggets. All those things need to be edited, bruh. Really. So the next feature that needs to be added, and this is one of my favorite features that definitely needs to come back in NBA 2K19, is recreating the G League for MyGM and MyLeague mode. So just like in previous games, bring back the G League where you can actually see the players develop, because this washed out version of the G League in NBA 2K18 is not cutting it, bruh. So for example, back in, I think it was NBA 2K12, you could view a calendar or the schedule for your G League team, the team standings, the stats, and so much more, in addition to sending your players down to the G League. I want to see my players develop and earn their spot on my roster, bruh. Especially with this new two-way contract where I can send players to the G League and have them on my team at the same time. I also want the option to play those G League games. Like, I want to play with Trey Burke in the Westchester Knicks and drop 40 points. Come on. So moving on to the next feature that definitely needs to be added to NBA 2K19 and MyGM mode / MyLeague mode is that they need a more harder and more realistic trading system. So I shouldn't be able to open Trade Finder and trade for another star player so easily. So a good fix to make sure that this doesn't happen would be improving on the current trade system. So the first fix that I would do would be the trade times, right? So trades should be offered one day and either accepted, denied, or counter offered 2 to 7 days later. Like, nobody in the NBA today, no GM will wake up one day and be like, I want to trade for Kyle Kuzma. Hey Lakers, if I give you like 2 first-round picks and Patrick Beverly for Kyle Kuzma, do you want it? And he just says yes, and the trade happens on that very same day. No, GM should be able to take their time, look over the trade details, see how that player fits with their team, see if they need picks and all that good stuff, and then make a decision afterwards. So this option should be toggled on or off for MyLeague mode, but since MyGM mode is the more realistic mode, it should not have the on or off option. It should definitely stay on for MyGM mode. And now the next fix should be changing the team state and players on the trade block every season depending on how players are playing for the team and the team's success. For example, if the Wizards are contending and their roster stays the same for 3 or more seasons and they don't win nothing, that team should definitely go into rebuilding mode. That is when players should show up on the trade block, and that would make things that much more challenging when rebuilding a team. Because I know, oh hey, John Wall's on the trade block. The Wizards aren't winning. They want to move on from John Wall. Okay, now I could try to trade for John Wall, and the Wizards will more than likely accept it because they're going into rebuilding mode instead of me just opening the trade finder or me proposing a trade for John Wall, trading away a whole bunch of BS, and they just accept the trade out of the blue. Like, nobody's going to trade John Wall or like a Kawhi Leonard, a James Harden out of the blue just because a good offer is made. So moving on to the next feature that needs to be added in NBA 2K19 MyGM on MyLeague mode, that is definitely by far my favorite thing on this list, is having the ability to create custom arena music and sounds, bruh. And this feature should be added to MyGM, MyLeague, and all other game modes on NBA 2K19. So back in previous 2K games, we had the ability to add our own custom music and arena sounds straight from our game system. We had the ability to add custom sounds for literally everything, bruh. For example, during jump balls, you could play Jump by Criss Cross if you wanted. Then when the away team is bringing up the ball, you could make an arena sound for that. You could make an arena sound for the defense chants, or even custom music after a specific player scores, which was my favorite, bruh. That was so lit. I'm telling you guys, that was such a dope feature to have, and if it can't be brought back regularly, at least add this arena music feature to when you're creating an arena for your own custom team. That would be so lit. Imagine Klay Thompson hitting a clutch three-pointer in Las Vegas, and then right after that, you hear the instrumental for Ric Flair drip plays. Oh my goodness, that is too beautiful. Klay Thompson for 3, bang! Ric Flair drip go woo on the yo, that is so lit. And now for my final feature that I want added into NBA 2K19 MyGM on MyLeague mode is better presentation for the NBA draft. Oh my goodness, I don't know about you guys, but for the main game systems, the presentation for the NBA draft is BS. It's just trash, bro. I'm telling you guys. It's just a black screen with the teams. Then the team makes a pick, and then they just show the player chosen. Trash. Go back to the previous presentation where the NBA commissioner comes out and announces the draft pick with the draft board right behind them and the player walking up to receive his hat and shake the hand of the commissioner. That's how it needs to be. Also, after every pick is made, there should be like a minute timer like in real life, so that we know when our time is up and we are forced to choose somebody. So let's say the Knicks are on the clock. We have 5 minutes to make a pick, or the CPU is gonna pick for us. We need to have that feature in the game. In addition to that, we should be able to watch actual pre-draft workouts, and draftees should have the option to deny team workouts depending on the way your team is ran, which goes back to my player personality system. So let's say I'm the Knicks and I'm a bad franchise, dysfunctional, nobody wants to come play for my franchise, right? And we have the opportunity to work out like Trae Young or somebody like that. Trae Young should have the option to be like, no, I don't want to work out for your franchise. Do you see the way things are being ran there? Like, nope, I'm not coming. That's it. Man, that feature should definitely be added. So I hope you guys enjoyed this list. These are my 10 features that definitely needs to be added to future 2K games from MyGM and MyLeague mode. If it doesn't happen for 2K19, all of these things should still be implemented in like 2K20 or something. All of these features, if not implemented, can be implemented in the next game or the game after that or whenever. So leave your comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys want to see in MyGM and MyLeague mode in the future for NBA 2K19 or any other future NBA 2K games. Comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. This is the Prince of YouTube signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed.